Hey everyone, thanks for checking out my video, and today I want to talk about something pretty important, net worth. I'm going to show you how to calculate it, I'm going to explain to you why it's important, and then I'm going to give you an example to show the power of it. So net worth is when you take everything you own, all your assets. It could be like your 401k, your savings, if you have equity in your house. You total up all your assets, and then you total up all your debt, and you subtract your debt from your assets. And this will be a little bit more clear with an example. But what it does is it exposes how much you actually own or how much you're actually worth. It also exposes whether or not you can actually afford something, if you want to purchase a new car or anything really. You see, a loan gives you the illusion that you can afford something when in reality you can't. All you can really afford is that payment. When you take out a loan or you use a credit card, all you're doing is you're now working for your employer and the bank for however long that loan term is. You're not really purchasing anything, you're just committing to give part of your future checks to the bank now. Car loans, especially new car loans, even with the 0% APR, are especially bad at eating away at your net worth. Now, you might be driving a brand new Escalade and you might feel rich, but in reality, that's eating away so much of your net worth that it's just giving you the illusion that you're rich. But net worth is going to expose that illusion and help you realize how much you're actually worth. So what is net worth? It can be a 401k. How much is your house worth? How much is your car worth? How much money do you have in a savings account? How much money do you have in an HSA? How much money do you have in investments? It's all of this added together. Whether you have a loan on it or not, you're going to take the whole value of it. And then you're going to add up all your debts, your car loan, your mortgage, any 401k loans you may have, any credit card debt. You're going to take all your debt and add that up. You're going to take the total value of everything and subtract the debt, and that's going to give you your net worth. And you really want that to be positive. So I want to use an example of how loans can give you the illusion that you're worth more or someone's worth more than they really are, and how net worth exposes that truth. So the example I like is a pharmacist and a technician. They typically work side by side all day long. So the pharmacist goes out to their brand new Mercedes and they're making over $100,000 a year, and they go to their huge house. And then you have the technician who goes out to their older Honda. They drive to their small house that's maybe not in a great neighborhood, and the technician's maybe making $30,000 to $40,000 a year. On the surface, when I ask you who do you think's worth more, you're probably going to lean towards the pharmacist. They've got a Mercedes, a nice house in a nice neighborhood. They have a six-figure salary, and you might even think they're better with their money because they have nicer stuff. But that has nothing to do with it. So let's say the pharmacist has a $400,000 house, and that Mercedes they're driving is worth $47,000. And let's say they have $100,000 in their 401k, and we'll say they have $14,000 in their savings account. That looks really good. You got a $400,000 house, you're driving this really nice Mercedes, you got six figures in your 401k, it's looking pretty good. Now let's look at the technician. We'll say the technician owns a $75,000 home. Their car's worth $3,500. And let's say they were really good at saving and they have their fully funded 6-month emergency fund at $15,000. Even with these numbers, it looks like the pharmacist is doing much better than that technician. So that's when we need to calculate the debt to see how well they're actually doing. So in this example, let's say the pharmacist has $300,000 left on their mortgage, $56,000 left on that car. And the reason the value of the car is less than the loan is if they bought it new, the car is going to depreciate quicker than you're paying off that loan. So now they're upside down on their car loan. Also, the pharmacist went to school, so they may have $120,000 in student loan debt. And, because they're making more, the bank's going to loan them more. So we'll say they have $25,000 in credit card debt. We'll say they have a 401k loan at $7,000, and let's say they wanted to remodel their kitchen and bathroom, so we'll call that a $50,000 home equity loan. So it looks like the pharmacist has some expensive taste here, and they're using a lot of credit, which they're making a lot of money, so the bank's going to keep offering them credit because they want a percentage of that large paycheck that that pharmacist is making. So they're going to offer more credit. It's kind of like a trick that they do because they want you working for them so they don't have to. Now, let's look at the technician's debt. I told you that the technician was a super saver. They have their 6 months worth of emergency fund already saved. So we're going to assume that they've been aggressively paying down their house as well, and they have $40,000 left on their mortgage. That $3,500 car, that's paid off. It's an old beater that they've been driving, but they don't want a car payment. They have no other loans. They don't use credit cards. So really the only debt they have is that $40,000 mortgage. Let's go ahead and calculate that out. Now let's look at the technician. They have a net worth of $83,500. So they may not be driving the nicest car. They might not have a huge house like the pharmacist, but when you look at that net worth, they're really doing well. They've got almost $100,000 worth of assets. So if they were to sell everything they own and pay off their debt, they would have a lot of money in the bank. And once your net worth hits $1 million, you're technically a millionaire. And when you think of a millionaire, you might think of a sports athlete or, Kim Kardashian, but those are the minority. The true millionaires are the people living a frugal life, just your average Joe that just keeps socking away money. It's not the person out there driving the Mercedes-Benz that looks real flashy. It's why you see people going bankrupt all the time that look like they're worth millions. It's because their net worth actually wasn't worth millions. They might have $3 million worth of real estate in their portfolio, but if they have mortgages out on all that real estate, they're not really worth that much. So that's why it's important to calculate your net worth to see how much you're actually worth. And try to do it, once a year, once a quarter, if you can, just to make sure you're trending in the right direction. If it's trending in a negative direction, you need to look at your debt, you need to change your habits, and you really need to hustle to get out of debt to get that positive. Hey everyone, thanks for watching the video. If you like this content, go ahead and like and subscribe. Please ring the bell if you want to get a notification on my next video. I really appreciate it, and let's make it an awesome day.